Welcome back to the set of the Decode podcast here at IPC Apex 2025. And we're joined by Mr. Jake Benz from LPKF, the sales manager there, and also the second best mustache in the EMS space. So welcome, Jake. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Elias.
And full disclosure, if you take a stroll through my shop, you'll see those four letters several times. They've been a great partner of ours, and their stencil cutters are top notch. So
yeah, thanks.
It's important that you said that, because Jake and I were talking earlier before we started recording, and he was telling me he needs better stencil. He needs better customers.
Sure,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
No, he said you've been a huge advocate for him, and a relationship when your supplier is actually giving you a product that you need that helps you turn around and give your customers the product they need. It's kind of a natural, easy relationship to form, right? You are each helping each other win in your business, right?
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And you've both seen the benefits of that, right?
Sure.
Part of what we do and what makes our stencils perform so well is that we use best available equipment and
you take care of it.
And we take care of it.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
But above and beyond stencil lasers, I think the piece of equipment I see you guys getting the most buzz around, I mean, your booth is like a hive over there, and that laser depaneling, and they got a cobot over there with it now too.
I did not know that. I haven't been over there yet. Like, I think tomorrow we'll actually get a chance to see what's here. But,
yeah, so talk to us a bit about your laser depaneling and some of the benefits, and how it's solving problems and what those problems that are being solved for are.
Yeah, absolutely. So LPK has been working on laser depaneling for almost 2 decades at this point, and we're kind of in a renaissance period, really. So historically, laser depaneling was really for niche applications. We had a lot of challenges from, laser wavelength, laser cost. The technology in general meant the laser prices were pretty high. Cycle times were pretty low when we were depaneling historically. Machines were very expensive. The laser sources
That's a hard formula, really. Very expensive and slow cycle times. That's not tough. Exactly what people are looking for, right?
I have to give major props to my predecessor, and she paved the way for a lot of what we're doing today, especially in North America. She knocked down a lot of those walls for me.
Yeah.
So I'll give her credit where credit's due. But, in general, laser technology's improved so much in just the last 3-5 years. So our depanelers are roughly like half the cost these days. The laser source lifetimes are 4 or 5 times what they were a couple of years ago.
Incredible.
And cycle times we're beating or exceeding mechanical routers at this point.
Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What's the beam size on that? Like,
spot size on our machines is plus or minus 20 micron.
Okay.
And accuracy across your panel is plus or minus 25 micron. So typically way more accurate than we need to be.
Yeah.
For depaneling.
Sure.
Yeah.
I keep getting an image of Dr. Evil in my head going laser during this entire conversation, you know.
Surely you have something more to add, being from the printed circuit board world. This is right up your alley, Bubba.
DLAM, right? So that is the PCB guys, and I will put it this way. I've yet to be in a circuit board shop that doesn't have a nail filer on almost every workbench, right? And it's not to keep the operator's nails right? It's to fix the DLAM issues that occasionally come up, and anybody who says they don't either has a crazy laser that they, and I would have to assume that it's got to be some error point in some of that, right? But that's what the technology is supposed to help, like, because the pizza cutter, right? Mm-hmm. It's on a track, and it's like this, and it goes in there, or if you're routing, especially out a board that has a carrier and has sensitive components around it, you can't use the pizza cutter. You absolutely need a laser. And I was kind of shocked to find out that, especially capacitors near the edge of a board, they won't look cracked by using a pizza cutter, but they'll actually be cracked inside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you get so close to it,
much stress.
The stress on the joint cracks it, and you can't even see it with your eye. You'd have to put it under an x-ray or fire up the board and watch it go poof, right? So, and with everybody going with miniaturization and everything got to be pushed to the edges of everything, I feel like it's just going to be a standard part of what goes on in the future,
Yeah. As our costs have decreased and our performance has increased, we're seeing a change in the conversation where that we're having with customers and engineers in particular. People are starting to understand the benefits. If you design a panel specifically for laser, there's a lot of benefits for you from, a final packaging standpoint. You can make everything smaller, denser circuits. You can put components 100 micron from the board edge if you're using laser.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really interesting, and I think that's a disruptive technology when you can say that you can affect your design rules to the benefit because of the technology that's now
What
available.
about like the height of components right next to the edge of the? Is there any issue at all with if you have like tall connectors or something right on the edge of the board?
That's a great question. There certainly can be. General topside component height on our units is about 40 millimeters.
Okay.
And if you have
Pretty
a 40
tall.
millimeter, yeah.
Pretty tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you have one, and we run into it occasionally, but if you have one of those on the edge, that's something we need to consider. We can modify parameters within the laser to accommodate that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's shadowing is certainly.
And what is the finished edge feel like once it's been cut?
It's unrecognizable from the pre-routed channel or anything like that. And visually, folks will look at our clean cut technology and they'll say, "Well, I can still see where the lasers affected the board here." And I'm actually you're wrong. What you're seeing is polished FR4. You're seeing pure FR4, and then they compare it with the pre-routed channel adjacent to it, which is kind of white, because that's shattered fiberglass, that's torn fiberglass fibers from the drill bit. Yeah. So if you look at our cut edge under a microscope, you can actually see the weave of the FR4.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of weaving FR4 in my days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. But it's just cool because, a designer that doesn't even know about that, right? If they're pigeonholed in a box, and it's kind of like what this is about, is it reaching all the stages of the PCB assembly, manufacturing process, and design part. They can look for a supplier that has your type of laser cutting, and depaneler that can then push what they need to do. Because I don't know about you guys, but it seems like my customers design the box first, and then say, "Let's put the circuit board in the box," right?
Form over function.
Yeah. Right? So
it's a little backwards.
Yeah, it is, right? And I wish we went from design and functionality first to manufacturing, then the box fits around that, right? But it seems to be.
I mean, in our world, that would be the perfect way to do it. But I know there's going to be. I know we have a couple products like that where the end use case dictates how much, it's going to go inside this enclosure. Your box build that you do goes inside another enclosure, and it's a weird configuration and strange shape, and it's got to fit just so, because it isn't that they don't have more flexibility in designing the case itself. It's that where that's going to go has no flexibility, so you have to figure it out from there.
Did I tell you when I went to a shop before I came up here? Did I tell you I thought those lights that you put in your Valentine's Day LPKF post, I thought you, because he's like obsessed with Canva, I thought he all of a sudden learned how to put LED lighting on their LPKF.
The head cover. Yeah.
And then I came in there, I'm like, what? It's real. Like, I thought you just had that.
Yeah, you could turn them on and off if you want.
Yeah.
And what's that cover, that kind of, that head cover is carbon fiber, and people always think it's like for design, but actually the entire gantry is carbon fiber, right? So it just it gives you a little bit of a window to what's behind those bellows there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks cool too.
It does.
great.
Yeah. They're everybody likes watching the lasers because
Yes.
they're pretty gratifying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I always want a stencil laser at the booth here at the show because it looks cool. It sparks and it's got a lot of inertia, a lot of weight being thrown around. But the reality is it's just so heavy.
And you have to bring in the
Difficult for us
oxygen
to shop.
too, right?
Well, we could just use shop air for sure. No.
I just learned that,
2
by
tons.
the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's an expert on laser cutting now because he saw my oxygen tank.
You know
You
it.
have people that know what they're doing. Yeah, they're using some oxygen to get the best possible cut they can.
He gave me a bunch of scientific reasoning behind it, and
Well, I mean, but I'm kind of glad you brought it up because that's one of the small distinguishing features that goes unnoticed. Like, you don't know what kind of gas I'm using in my cutting atmosphere, and it's more expensive to use oxygen than it is compressed air. But
and it's weird you would need oxygen because there's oxygen, right? You know what I'm saying?
There's oxygen everywhere,
You
man.
want pure, you
You're
want
right,
the
I've been
pure
doing it
stuff,
wrong.
right?
yeah, but I think this conversation's followed the lines that we've that of a theme that's been reoccurring. How miniaturization is really pushing us to refine these individual processes, and laser depaneling certainly seems right up there within that conversation. So
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming on with us, Jake.
Yeah.
It's
it was great.
always great.
Thanks, guys.
And have a great rest of the show.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's nice to finally put some faces to the names. You know,
Yeah.
see you guys on LinkedIn, but it's nice to finally meet
We
you
look
guys.
better in person.
Yeah, damn right.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.